Okay, let me masukkan semua orang balik. Kenyang dah? Kenyang dah tu bermakna mengantuk dah juga. Betul? Siapa makan nasi ni confirm berat je mata lepas ni kan? Anyway. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's continue with our class today. Alright. For those who are back, good. Wah, back with my Coke and coffee. Whoa, that's double, man. Okay, so now we're gonna start with transitions. Yeah, so transitions, as you know, is the way kita punya apa? Sebelum tu kita lupa nak resume recording.
Recording in progress.
Okay, yes it is. Okay, so now as I said awal-awal pagi tadi, transition effect ni is cara kita punya slide, our slides fly in, fly out, flip, twist and all that. So a lot of you think that it's not necessary. It's fancy je. But I will give you a few examples of how this transition can play a role or can play a function, for your content. Yeah, not just for the slide itself, not just for the slide to flip, flop or whatever, but it can actually help your content. I'll give you an example. I'm sure at some point of kita orang punya, when we try to do slides and all that, we have pictures that are vertical. Yeah, gambar yang menegak, vertical pictures. And the problem with vertical pictures is that you cannot zoom in, or you cannot enlarge too much, because even though if you try to enlarge pun, like for web pages for example, website and the screenshots, even if you enlarge from top to bottom pun, it will still be too small, the content, so people cannot read and all that. So I'm sure you would love to zoom in, so that people can baca content and all that. So let me tell you that transitions itself, allows you to do that. There is one type of transition that you can do that. So I'm going to show you a technique. This is again another cheat code. So for instance, you have something particular like this, like a website in a screenshot. So I can actually just take a copy, Control C, Control V, kiri kanan. Why I have two copies is because we're going to crop it. Kita nak potong separuh. Alright, we're going to crop one each. First one, we're going to crop, throw away the bottom. So kita simpan yang atas saja. So let's find a middle line lah somewhere. Maybe here ke. Okay, somewhere there. Then kita crop. And then the second one, we crop the opposite direction. We crop the top part. Kita tinggal yang bawah je. So if you want to, you don't have to main teka-teka. You don't have to guess where you crop in relation to your first image, because if you on your smart guide, the smart guide will tell you there. Kan ada line merah akan keluar indicating where exactly did you cut in relation to your first image. So kita crop. Now, I have the top and I have the bottom in two separate pictures. So the top half ni, the top half of your image, kita besarkan. Let's enlarge it, right? Okay. Let's enlarge this image so that, and we put it in the middle of our slide, make sure it's exactly in the middle. And we also rest it at the bottom. Kita sandarkan dia to the bottom of our slide, right at the foot. Jangan bagi ada ruang kosong. Make sure there's no space in between. So you rest it exactly at the bottom. Now this lower image, we're going to make sure that the lebar, the width is exactly the same as the first image. So tarik until the smart guide says, alright, so both are the same, okay, same size. Now this lower image, kita let's cut it, take it away, and put it in an empty slide after the first image tadi. We put it here, and now for the second image, we push it all the way up. Kita tolak atas, right? Now I'm going to show you the effect that this does. Okay. Wait, let me admit a few more people yang baru masuk. Okay. Now let me show you what this does. So you have the top part of the image sitting on one slide, resting at the bottom of the slide, and then you have the next image, the bottom half of the image, in the next slide and sitting at the top of your slide. Okay. So the second slide, where your second image is, if we go to transitions, and we create a push punya transition, this is the kind of effect that you will get. Okay. Yeah. Let me play that in full screen so that you can see. So you can basically talk about the top part first, to blow up and show everything. And then as you move to the next slide, dia nak macam tu. It looks as though the two pictures bersambung, right? It looks as though two slides suddenly has become one long slide. Yeah, so you can actually present section by section of a very long image. Okay, so let's just by using the push transition, one image is resting at the top, this one is resting at the bottom. Dia nampak macam dia bersambung. It looks like it's connected. In fact, if you want to cut it to more than two, you want to make it longer, right? You want to cut it to three, pun boleh. You show one, you show two, you show three. So it becomes like a very long slide macam tu, just by using a push transition technique. Yeah. So try to do that, because I'm sure at some point of your career or your exploits, you will have to do this. Yeah. So try to push, and dia akan nampak macam dia bersambung. It looks like it's connected. Now, the moment you know you can do this, you can do the push transition and connect slides, yeah, and images. Why not do it like this? Yeah. Here's something that a lot of people don't do. It's normally apa tu, trademark to me, my style. So I hope you all can try this nanti. Try to do 4 slides. Yeah. Get an image like the globe here. You can actually cut it to 4, and then you place it at the corners of each image. Macam the first slide ni you see is on the bottom right. Second slide is on the bottom left. The third slide is on the top left, and the last slide is on the top right. So this is what you can do, yeah, because the push transition it doesn't necessarily have to go daripada bawah ke atas. It doesn't necessarily push in one direction, yeah, because if we can actually change the direction of the pushing, because the standard one dia akan bergerak ke atas, but kita boleh bergerak ke kiri, boleh bergerak ke kanan, boleh bergerak ke bawah, and things like that. And how you do the push, you change the direction. Of course, you have the push transition here, and then you will have the effect option right there. And you can always change. You drop down the effect option, you will have from right, you will have from bottom, you will have from left, and you will have from top. You can always play around with the movement, so that if you were to create macam a presentation where you want to share a summary of every quarter lah, for example, what you've done per quarter, right? And then you create an image like this. You have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, yeah? And then you can cut this image to 4, and then you prepare your slides, yeah? Where the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 you put exactly like how I put the globe tadi, yeah? At the corners of each slide. Put in your content, yeah? Apa-apa content yang berkenaan, and then use the pushing. Because what the pushing will look like is that suddenly your 4 slides will look as though it's one giant mega slide, and you are traveling across the 4 corners of the big slide like this. You show Q1, and then you show Q2, and then you show Q3, and you show Q4, right? So it has a very fluid punya movement, yeah. Dia nampak macam you are browsing through a very large mega slide, but in actual fact, it's just 4 slides using the push transition, right? So you can give a really nice macam, let's explore the sections and things like that. It can be a very nice approach, yeah. So I'm sure you all have never thought about that. The function push tu memang ada, cuma we never knew how to manipulate it. It looks really, really smooth, yeah. This is the kind of effects yang macam all these external punya presentation tools macam Prezi. Yeah, Prezi is able to do things like this. But PowerPoint, the moment we know how to exploit dia punya function, we can achieve the same thing as well, yeah. So maybe you will find ideas on how to utilize that technique. Yeah, this is my function today. I become a sorcerer and I teach you all my wicked magic tricks. Alright, hyperlink. Okay, hyperlink ni, I'm sure most of you pakai hyperlink in its most traditional punya function, di mana kita highlight certain text yang kita nak hyperlink to a website, yeah, so that people click text tu dia buka browser, buka Chrome or whatever. Now, I'm going to show you another very, very useful hyperlink punya function, okay? Because I'll give the scenario to you. Bayangkan you dah start design slide you cantik-cantik macam ni, where you only want to show very high level numbers, high level data, but you as the storyteller, you akan expand on the subject or you will elaborate about it more. Tetapi of course almost every presentation will have the devil's advocate in the room ataupun batu api lah, sengaja nak tanya banyak soalan kan. So imagine somebody in the crowd asking, wait Joe, stop, I see the 2 trillion punya number there. Can I see the breakdown? How did you derive to that 2 trillion? I'm sure there will always be at some point somebody who always want this kind of justification. But I know you guys are well prepared because as and when you know that there will be people like this, you will always put the breakdown dekat appendix punya slide somewhere towards the end of your presentation, you know, all the appendix you letak, the breakdowns and whatnot. But still, even if you letak appendix pun, bila orang tanya, asking you to break it down, you still have to press escape and then you have to browse yang this row belah kiri ni, cari you punya appendix dekat mana and things like that. So it will be very disruptive. Plus, you are exposing the rest of your slides that has yet to be presented. Macam potong steam lah. It doesn't feel great lah, you know, that your presentation gets interrupted. So let me give you a tip. On slide 44 here, the last slide here, I've actually created a dummy lah to justify that 2 trillion, right? So what I'm going to do is, I can go to hyperlink, okay? I can go to my earlier slide. This 2 trillion, I can right click, I can click hyperlink, Traditionally, it's here, existing file or web page. You masukkan your website address here and that's it. You link it to a browser. But if you go one down, which is placed in this document here, right? It will give you a listing of you punya slides. And you can hyperlink it straight to your appendix punya slide, which is slide 44. Okay? And then you can click OK. So that the next time you are presenting, you're presenting all this, and then tiba-tiba that boss of yours stops you halfway and asks you to expand on this 2 trillion, you can now click on this 2 trillion and immediately, without having to leave, press escape ke apa ke, you click on it, you will arrive straight away to your appendix slide. Because that content has been, is linked to a specific slide within your presentation. So senang. So once you dah baca, you dah explain everything, and then dia kata, okay, sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting. Okay, please go back to your presentation. You can always hyperlink the content back here to come back to where you are. It gives you a more seamless experience. Tak payah kita escape our presentation and show the rest of our slide because all our content has been linked to their respective appendix or breakdowns or whatever. So try to use this hyperlink this way. You're hyperlinking from slide to slide. And now, since you know how to do that, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you an idea where if you were to apply this idea, you will be among the first few in the country, the top few in the country to actually explore PowerPoint this way. So now you know that all the content can be hyperlinked. Imagine if your entire PowerPoint presentation behaves like a website instead of the traditional way. The traditional way is memang we go from slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, slide 5. But what if we can create a presentation where the whole thing behaves like a website? I'll show you what I mean. Excuse me. Now, what you're seeing on screen is the first slide of a presentation. Okay, a mock-up lah, of a presentation. But all these elements that I've designed, semuanya dah hyperlink. That means overview ni is hyperlink to slide 2 and all the sub-contents under overview, slide 3, slide 4, slide 5, and then market study ni slide 6, then the things under market study 7, 8, 9. So everything has been hyperlinked. So if I want to skip overview, I can just click straight to slide 6, which is market study, and I will arrive straight to market study punya section. And I can always press another tab to go to the next slide and so on and so forth. And you can prepare buttons dekat bawah ni like you see. You see main, you see market study, you see next. Market study will go back to the section, the start of the section. Next, you hyperlink it to the next slide. But main, you hyperlink it to slide number 1. So that now, imagine doing this and then you save it on a tablet ke, or on a touch screen ke. People can just tap this like a very interactive punya brochure. Yeah, exactly, Zafrul. You can make a mock-up website. All you have to do is, just plan your content punya architecture, what hyperlinks with what hyperlinks with what, and immediately you will have a website experience using PowerPoint, right? So people have not thought about doing that, and I challenge everyone here today, if you have an opportunity to do this, please do, because I can bet you people are going to ask, hey, you pakai software apa ni to create this mockup ni? You cakap PowerPoint, dia orang semua tengah-tengah. I can guarantee that they're going to gawk at you, right? Okay, so yeah, so try that, okay, in future, the moment you get the opportunity to try it. All right, guys, we're going to go into the next subject, and this subject, I need you to pay full attention because your next exercise is going to be quite challenging, but very rewarding if you get it, okay? And it has to do with all the animation techniques that I'm going to share with you, okay? Now, before that, let me see, any questions? Oh, wow. I have prepared an ERP manufacturing system. Oh, that's really, really nice. If you can share that with me, I would love to see it. Or if there are, in fact, if there are ways for you to improve it, Encik main saham, nama main saham, okay lah. Encik saham, 452 slides, astaghfirullahaladzim. Okay, don't show it to me. But yeah, I think you would know the extent of what we can do with that kind of hyperlinking punya technique, yeah? Alright guys, animation. A lot of people think animation ni fancy. Semestinya kita kena buat, yeah. But you know, the moment if we use it as a presentation, yeah, in a presentation, we have to animate. I'll tell you why. Because if you don't animate your content, you know, you have 3-4 contents in a single slide. You are talking about the first content. You know, macam ni, right? You have step 1, step 2, step 3. You as a presenter, you're expanding about the topic under step 1. But you are taking your sweet time, you know, that orang dah malas dengar cakap you, they will start reading number 2, they will start reading step 3. You lose your dominance or your, you know, prominence as a presenter, as the leader of the presentation, because people are able to read ahead of you. So, especially bab presentation, it's very, very important that we animate our content so that we control what people should see and what people should not see yet, right? So, I know most of you know how to animate, but let's put all 100 plus of you today on the same page in terms of the fundamentals, okay? So, normally, kalau the first content, macam step 1 ni, if it's the first content that I'm going to talk about when I arrive at this slide, Joe takkan animate. Because I don't want to come to an empty slide where there's no content, yeah? So, it's easier for me to arrive at this slide and the first content is ready for me to talk, right? So, tak payah kita animate. Right. The first thing that I want to animate is this arrow, yeah, because I don't want it to be there. So if we go to the animation punya tab, I know there's a lot of styles and whatnot, but for arrow, yeah, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, just use this simple wipe punya function. Because wipe ni, dia akan wipe dari bawah ke atas macam tu, yeah. It's going to wipe from bottom to top. But similar to the transition tadi, where we can tukar dia punya direction, we can go to effect options. Choose the direction following the arrow punya pointing. So which is from left, like that. Okay. So once again, let me see if it's from left. Okay, great. Now, time to animate step 2. Normally for text box ke, all these paragraphs and all that, I would use something simple macam fade lah. Because fade ni, dia come in secara lembut, it's a bit subtle, yeah. So there's no like things flying or flipping or whatever. So just a simple fade would do. But now, we have to decide how should step 2 appear into the slide, okay? Because we already have an earlier animation, which is the arrow. So, for us to manage all this, I would recommend every time we do an animation, okay, always come here to this button, which is Add Animation. To this button, Animation Pane, and open it, yeah? So that this panel on the right will open so that you can see all the line items of all the things that you have animated. Now, step 2 ni, we have to consider, you tengok dekat atas ni, dia punya starting dia. How should step 2 come into the slide? Should it be on click? Should it be with previous? Or should it be after previous? Yeah. If we select on click, that means step 2 ni akan appear only when we click on our mouse, right? With previous, we have to understand what's previous. The word previous here is in relations to the arrow. Okay, because arrow tu kita dah animate kan. So that's the previous, that's previous. So if we select with previous, that means step 2 dengan arrow akan menjelma, will appear at the same time. That means the moment when you click the arrow, the step 2 will appear together. Okay? If we select the third one, which is after previous, that means when we click on the arrow, the arrow is going to finish wiping dulu. Only immediately after that, step 2 will appear without us clicking. So I just want to get get a feel of your understanding. For step 2, right? What do you think should be the ideal punya trigger? Should it be on click, with, or after? Tell me, what do you think?
After previous.
Okay, ramai yang cakap after. There you go. Semua after. Okay, with pun ada. On click pun ada. Okay, great. So let me just do a quick demo, and just so that you can see the difference between the three options, okay? If I was to select on click, okay, let's do this. Full screen. Okay, now I'm going to click. Okay, the arrow will come up. But it's not pointing to anything because, step 2 is only going to come out if I click again, right? So unless you want to talk about the arrow, which I don't think is the case, so why, right? So now I have to click again, barulah step 2 keluar. Okay, so it's not that optimum lah. Now, if I was to select with, okay, what you will see here when I full screen is that the moment I click and you see the arrow wiping, you will also see step 2 appear together, like this, like that. One more time. Okay, so it comes up together, right? Versus if I was to select after, right? Let's try that, okay? So if I was to select after, that means my first click, the arrow will wipe and I don't have to click again. After the arrow dah finish wiping, baru step 2 will appear, like this. Right? One more time. Yeah. So those who selected, who said after, great. Because I think if you see it, that's the most logical flow of movement lah. Yeah. So it's between with or after lah. It's completely up to your taste. But on click is just wasting another click lah. I don't think it's really necessary. Okay. Now, okay, let's finish this. Right? Let's finish this. Arrow. What did I choose just now among all this animation? What did I choose for the arrow?
White.
Oh, okay. Ada yang ingat. Ingat ke dah lupa dah? Alright. Okay, let's use white. Alright. White, and then we change the direction, right? From there. And then step 3, of course, we use that fade function to come out lembut-lembut, and we select after the arrow, which is after previous. And then, this girl you want her to fly in lah, terbang lah kamu masuk macam tu. Okay? And we can also choose after previous lah. Immediately it comes out. Okay, so, now, the moment you take the initiative to animate your slides, you can look at the moment you arrive at this slide, you can take your time explaining step 1, blah, blah, when you have the assurance that nobody is able to jump ahead of you. You are in control. Only when you finish talking about step 1, you press step 2 keluar. Then when you finish talking about step 2, you press again. Baru step 3 keluar with the girl flying here. Alright? So that's basically what you need to do when you animate. Right? That's the fundamental lah. You have to think about with previous, after previous, and things like that. Now let's have some fun. I'm going to show you some fun stuff. Bayangkan you want to do you want to talk about your company history. Yeah. So you put a road, you put your car. The car is a representation of where you were back then. Yeah, when you first started out. So you have your tax. Back then, 20 years ago, we only had 2 employees with 500 ringgit starting capital, blah blah blah. And then you want this car to move to current day where you dah berjaya, dah jadi mega holdings lah. Okay, and then you have your own building and things like that, and you want to have another text coming out saying, 20 years later today we are blah blah blah. So you can actually make your car move, right? I'm gonna make the car move for you, right? For instance, if you want this car to go to the building, we can always go to animation, and the last section here under motion path, you see the lines there. You can select this, and your car will start moving downwards macam tu. Alright? But now you see you have a transparent version of the car indicating where your car finished, right? And you see that red dot there, that's something that you can pegang. You mouse over it, you drag it to where you want your object to stop. Kat sini, for example, right? Now, see what happens. So that now you're talking about your, company background and all that, and then you can move the car to come forward to modern day. Yeah, so it's a nice, simple, cool animations like this that you can do, to tell stories and all that. All right. Another thing that I want to highlight, graphs and charts, you all, I can guarantee that none of us have ever tried to animate our graphs and charts, right? Where kita ada pie chart tu kita tampal terus and, we're explaining the first 20%, but somebody else is reading the other splits already. So you can actually click into all your graphs and charts and you can animate them slice by slice so that you can take your time storytelling about each individual share or things like that. Yeah. But this one I will elaborate further when we go into graphs and charts lah. But I just want you to know that you can feature slide by slide first, slice by slice first without showing the full pie. Now, remember that strategy. I mean, my campaign punya methodology that I shared earlier, where the wheel turns sikit-sikit tu. Yeah, this is another slide using the same technique. Where this slide was done for Rajate. Yeah, she wanted to talk about how banking started back thousands of years ago. Yeah, but as you know, she's the kind that likes to talk a lot, so she doesn't need any words into the slide. She just wants to click. So for instance, I made this wheel turn sikit-sikit to reveal all the milestones. Yeah, starting off back then when people had to pay tax, they had to give livestock or pigs in general as payment. And then, because they were difficult to logistically carry around, it's not very convenient lah. Yeah. So over a couple of 100 years later, the concept of coins started to come about, but they were prone to being stolen. So people started hiding their coins inside temples because back then the fear of God was so much stronger. Takut lightning zap you, you try to steal from a temple and things like that. Couple hundred years later, people with coins started to lend them out. Hey, you want to borrow 10 coins? Okay, pinjam, tomorrow you give me back 15. Okay, interest. And then, 1,000 years later, in 1472, the first bank, Monte dei Paschi in Italy came about, which is the world's oldest bank today. So you can see that gear dekat tengah tu, dia gerak sikit to reveal all the icons in between, right? Based on my click. So how did I do that? I'm going to show you how to do this. And you better remember because the exercise right after this will be based a little bit on this, yeah? So I'm going to show you two things. The first one is how do we spin the gear? The second one is how do we spin the gear? How do we have a more controlled spin where we can just spin and stop, okay? So to do a natural spin, I'm going to close this first, okay? No, I'll leave the animation pane open. All right, let's do the default spin first. If you want to spin this, you can go to animation, drop it down so that you go into the yellow area. Under yellow, the emphasis area, there's this function called spin. Okay? So you select that lah, and you will spin 360 degrees, a full circle, 360 darjah, and then it will stop automatically. Okay, that's it. But I know some of you have this idea, what if I can make the thing spin non-stop in my background? Sementara tengah bercerita ni, there will be this thing moving, tak berhenti. So if you were to adjust that, you want that to happen. You see, under your animation panel yang you buka ni, animation pane, this is your line item on the spin tu. Just drop down this black arrow kat ujung ni, and just pay attention to this, effect option dengan timing. These two. Because these two will open up the same window. If I click on that, you see, this is timing, this is effect. Timing and effect, same thing. So timing, you can always, kalau you nak dia continue forever and ever to spin kan, under the last option je, repeat by default tak ada, dia ada none je. So you can just drop it down and select until end of slide. Because if you select until end of slide, that's what it literally means. For as long as you are on this slide, dia akan continue to spin non-stop. Which is a cool effect lah. Especially if we have 2 or 3 more gears moving at the same time, it will look quite cool, right? Okay, that's easy. Just select spin, go to timing, go until end of slide, kacang. No problem right there, right? Now, no, it's not a GIF file, it's just an icon. It's just an icon, but I'm making it move. All right. So now I have shown you how to make a normal spin, but how do we make that controlled spin? Okay, let's do that. This is a bit tricky, so pay attention. To have a controlled spin, let's do the same thing tadi. Spin 360 and it stops. But now Just now we went to timing. Now let's go to effect options. Okay, under effect options, you will see the amount right here. The default one is 360 darjah, 360 degrees. But we can drop it down, right? And you will see a place for you to customize. This is where you do a bit of maths lah. If you have 6 icons to show, then you do 60 degrees. If you have, 12 icons, 30 degrees. Things like that. Do a bit of maths and you will get the amount of percentage that you can change to. So I'm going to change to 30 degrees, for example. 30 darjah. Press enter and make sure that it reflects it under amount. It says 30 degrees clockwise. That's done. And then we click OK. So by right, it will move 30 degrees instead of 360. But something else will happen as well, everybody. I want you to see what happened and then I want you to tell me what do you think happened, Let me click OK. Wait, let me full screen again so I show. Okay, it did move 30 degrees only, but what happened also? Slow moving. Okay, can somebody try to explain to me why do you think it is slow? Now, you can switch on your mic or you can type the chat window. Why just now laju, but tiba-tiba sekarang slow?
The duration is the same, 2 seconds.
Exactly. That's correct. Okay, we didn't adjust the timing. And for those who don't know, let me explain dia punya logic, Previously, this wheel took 2 seconds to travel 360 degrees. 2 seconds travel 360. Now, it's taking the same 2 seconds, 2 saat yang sama, to only travel 30. So, because it has a shorter travel time, they try to average the movement punya speed, just to fulfill that 2 seconds. So, if you want to make it move fast again, right, you can always go back to go back to timing. So instead of the duration being 2 seconds, you can always drop it down and make it very fast, like 0.5 seconds, right? So that it will spin faster. Now it looks like a more natural 30-degree turn. Let's look at it. One click, there you go, 30. All right, done. Now let's do one set like how I did for Raja Terola. Let's put in one arrow. Okay, so put in one arrow, besarkan sikit, letak tepi dia, and then we send to back. Send to back. Okay. Now arrow, remember what we did under animation, we just used white and then we tukar the direction from left and it should be after previous because after the 30 degree spin lah, automatic kan, kita klik sekali je, the wheel spin and the arrow white, okay, after previous. And then let's introduce this word lah, custom spin ni. Okay, kita pakai fade for the text and also after the arrow. So now, if you look at your animation pane, everybody, look at the animation pane, you will see that there's a small anak tangga here, like a staircase there. You can see that you're clicking once, the arrow is going to wipe, the wheel is going to move 30 degrees, the arrow is going to wipe, and the text box is going to appear. Okay, like that. So let's look at it, whether we did one set. I'm going to click just once. Okay, one more time. All right, so that's done. Now, if I want to make this wheel spin again, I cannot simply just click on spin because the spin function is already there. So, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, boys and girls, if you want a single object, the same object to have more than one animation, okay, you have to click here, add animation, okay, because when you add animation, you add another spin, okay, you are now creating a new line item in your animation pane. You see here? So this is the start of your second set. Okay? So you have to do all the editing again lah. Go to effect option, instead of 360, change to 30, press enter, pergi ke timing, tukar to 0.5 seconds, and click OK. Alright? Now, so you have the start of your second section. But for the arrow ni, you can always just Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V if you want to put another arrow. Because if you copy an object that already has an animation, you will see dekat animation panel ni, dia punya animation pun ikut sekali after previous and all that. So senang sikit kerja you. So much easier. So you can just do this, send to back, right? And then let's put default spin pula. Okay? Fade after previous. Alright. So now you have two sets of staircases macam tu. Right? Now let's see. Let's click twice and see what happens. The first click, like that. The second click, like that. So you get the idea of how we can create a full rotation, and introduce objects in between. Kalau you nak tengok the full animation for Raja T tu, okay, let's look at the animation panel here. You can see that it looks scary. Nampak scary. But in fact, what we just did together here, we already finished 2 sets. So set ketiga, keempat, kelima, the 6th set and all that will become so dah ingrained dah in you. Okay, 30 degrees, 0.5 seconds, arrow wipe after previous. It's so much easier the moment you've done the first 2 or 3. Okay. Alright. Now, boleh ingat Boleh tak? Because I'm going to throw a test at you. Okay, I want you guys to open the first folder in the exercise yang you all download tadi. Okay. In the first folder, right, there will be open the first folder and you will see a PowerPoint document called Exercise 1 Animations. I want you guys to open it. Kalau dah open, then just type ready in the chat window. Wow. I'm not sure, Arth, because I'm not a Mac user. Can any Mac users see if there's any add animation for MacBook? Yeah. Otherwise, I will have to check later when you're doing your exercise, and I will let you know. Yeah. Or maybe you can Google it as well. I'm sure there is. Okay. Can send the link again. No problem. Kejap, yeah. Let me send the link again. Where was the link? Oh, I have to open my previous document. Kejap. Sat. Okay, for those who have not downloaded it, okay, this is the link. Let me put it in the chat window. V and paste. Okay, semua dah buka. Alright. Put in the chat window, what do you see? What do you see in that PowerPoint document? Alright. So just by looking at it, I think you all can guess what I'm going to ask you all to do. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yep, you're right. That's exactly what I'm going to tell you to do. Okay, this is what you see. So I'm going to give you 2 sets of instructions, yeah? The first set is the design, all right? Imagine you're going to do a poster, right, for Proton, okay? So of course, you have to attach the wheels to the car, arrange the headline, Proton X50, and the caption where you feel is suitable. The caption too is the intelligence that amazes lah, okay? All right. So place the paragraph where you feel suitable. I will not dictate all this. Place the Proton logo where you feel suitable. Normally Proton logo ni diorang letak dekat bawah lah, bottom right or something like that. Right? Now, I will not dictate where you put stuff. As long as you feel that it looks right, it looks nice, that's fine by me because design is again subjective, yeah? Okay, here's what I want you to do on top of it, which is the animation. The wheels for both front and back wheels are to spin continuously, okay? And then, once the wheels have started spinning and all that, the Proton X50 and will fade in, yeah? And then after Proton X50 dah fade in, baru Intelligence That Amazes will fade in, right? After Proton X50 dah fade in, Intelligence That Amazes has fade in, only then the paragraph will fly in, yeah? Will fly in after Intelligence. So I'm sure you know there's a fly in punya animation, yeah? Okay, so try that out. And then after the paragraph has come in, only then the Proton logo will fade in to finish the work. So if you follow the instructions carefully, it will be quite easy to do, yeah? I'm going to give you 20 minutes to try this. If you want to see how it may look like, yeah? There you go, okay? Never mind the smoke behind the wheel. That's me, very itchy backside. I go to Google, cari white smoke animated GIF, letak belakang tayar dia, so nampak macam wheel spin lah sikit kan. But as you can see now, the tires are spinning, right? And now when I click, Proton X50 comes out. When I click again, Intelligence That Amazes comes out. And then the paragraph will fly in, yeah? Fly in like that. And then the logo will appear. Straightforward instruction. I'm sure very easy for you guys to do. It's just the spinning with previous, after previous, whatever. Now, I don't, some of you may think, alah ini kejap je 5 minit boleh siap. Okay, so for those yang terror merah belaka, I'm going to give an additional task, an additional challenge. What if you can start off like this? Proton X50 comes in, intelligence that amazes come in, and then the paragraph comes in, and then, but where's the car, right? So after the logo, suddenly you will see the car coming in from outside the slide and into the slide with the tire spinning and all and coming to a stop. Some of you straight away think, oh yeah, tadi Joe punya Jeep tu dia buat apa? Motion path, right? And then he dragged the car to where he wanted it to finish and all that. Senang lah. 10 minutes max boleh buat. Be careful when you say senang, yeah, because a lot of people that tried this, the car body came in, but the tires got left behind. Tayar dia hilang, tak masuk. So I want you guys to think of all the logic, right? And see how you guys can apply, come up with it and see whether you guys can do this. Yeah. But this is a bonus lah. All right. This is a bonus. But the main one, even if you have to do something as simple as this, I think is a really big step for you guys already. So go and try it out, and I will leave you at your instruction page. Go and have fun. I'm sure you all will be laughing after this one. Suddenly the tire stops spinning, the whole car body goes spinning. I don't know what's going to happen, but enjoy yourself. Go. Raifina, mana part nak spin continuously tu, if you open your animation panel, if you open your animation panel, apa tu? If you want it to spin continuously, you have to go to the black arrow at the very edge of your animation panel, your line item, drop it down there, go to timing, under repeat you select until end of slide. Okay, go and try that.
Thanks.
All right, no problem. Not supposed to give you all tips midway, but it's okay. Once in a while. Feeling generous. Okay, go. Kalau bunyi until end of slide, oh my god, that's going to be so annoying. I know you are able to make sounds until end of slide, but try not to do it. But that one about sounds and all that, in the audio section later, Jane, I will share with you how to edit your audio and all that so that you can play throughout until the end of slide and all. Yeah, that will be at the audio video part. Hello, this is not a Q&A session. This is a tryout session. But anyway, okay lah. For those who don't know how to hide the car, very straightforward. Just zoom out your slide, shrink your slide a bit, and move your car outside right? Like that, so that later it will come in. Yeah, put it outside. Okay, just reduce, shrink, zoom out on your slide, and then bring it in. Now, I don't want to show the wheel. I just show you only. I'm not going to do the full demo here. Not yet. Try first. Riza, if you want to make the wheel go fast again, go to timing and then the duration. Okay, Sharin, both car and tires move, but separately. That's where the challenge comes. How do we make it move together? It comes in at the same time and it finishes exactly under the car again, right? What's the function to move from one place to another? Under animations, if you drop down your animation, the last function will be known as a motion path. It's right there. Yeah. Joanne, you say you got it. That means you managed to make the car and the tires all move. Wow, so keng one. Your mo, got not. Okay lah. You want to share your PowerPoint with me? You share lah. Put it in the chat window. Can go and take a look. Alright, for the rest, siapa lagi yang dah berjaya? Whoever, any more successful attempts, let me know. Now, because there's 10 minutes remaining, I'm going to do everyone a favor, okay? I'm going to show you the slide where, what do you call it? I'm going to show you this slide where the car came in, right? Where the car came in, like that. Okay. You can see it, right? Now, I'm going to show you the animation pane for this. You see that? Okay. So I want you guys to start figuring out how I did it. Okay. Ooh, Noliza. Berani ya? Okay. Alright. So you saw my animation pane. Okay. Yeah. Let me see some exercises that are being sent back to me. Seems interesting for me to. So those who are looking at the screen, you can always try to study my animation pane and see whether you guys are doing the same thing. Wait, let me check. Full screen. What? Alah, masuklah penuh sikit. Aduh, start dia. Okay, but it's a good option. Yeah, good. Cuma, Nurliza, your car punya tires tu, dia tengah reverse tu sebenarnya, bukan ke depan tu. Because it's going clockwise. So maybe you might want to change it to anti-clockwise pasal you decide the spin tadi. Yeah, alright. Okay, now. Alright. Try it out again, everybody, and let's see if you guys can team this thing. Alright. Now, some of you may have problems. You figured out the technique, but the problem is that the tires, when they come into the picture, they don't end exactly under the car again. Dia ke depan sikit ke belakang sikit ke. How many of you are having that problem?
Me.
Saya.
Okay. Tu dia. Banyak yang ada masalah situ Okay. I'm going to give you a tip, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, how to resolve that issue. Okay? Is this, why not we create a dummy copy. That means we select the two tires, okay? And we select the body. Kita copy and let's create a dummy car first, just a mock-up, yeah? And we can put this mock-up to where we want the car to finish so that when we create our motion path, kita tarik that red dot to where exactly where our mock-up car is, where the tires are, where the body is. Why don't you try that? Yeah, so you have a reference point to where you want to tarik your motion path. Try that and see whether it works or not. And then once you get it perfectly, then you can delete the mock-up punya car, the reference car. Try it out. Okay, 5 more minutes and then we will proceed with the next subject. Play the animation again, no problem. So you will see, okay, Proton X50, intelligence that amazes, paragraph fly-in, logo, followed by car coming in, wheel spinning, and coming to a stop. Okay, there you go. 5 minutes. Okay, excuse me for a while. 5 minutes. Okay, everybody. If you want to pay attention to the screen, I'm going to remove all my animation. Okay. I'm going to remove all my animation, delete semua. Okay, now my ni has no animations whatsoever. It's all static. All right. So, what's the first thing that I do? The first thing that I'm going to do is spin my wheels. Okay, I'm going to add spin, right? Okay, so the spin, okay, it will spin 360 non-stop. So I'm going to effect options. I'm going to go 360, but counterclockwise, because clockwise means you're reversing. So counterclockwise means moving forward. I'm going to go to timing. I'm going to change to half a second so that it spins very fast. And I'm going to repeat until end of slide because it continues spinning. Okay, so all right, okay, like that. And then the second one is same thing lah. The second tire at the back, again another spin. Yeah. Or in fact, let me delete this tire and let me just copy paste the front tire lah, so that senang. The same thing is repeated. Okay, tire pun sama size pun, right? So instead of on click, I'm going to say with previous, right? Because the tires are going to start spinning together. All right, so now my spinning is done. Okay, so let's do the proton. Fade in. Intelligence that amazes. Fade in. Safety features. Fly in. Right, all this paragraph. Fly in. Tukar direction from right. Like that. Okay, and then logo. Fade in. Okay, done. So far done. Tires are spinning and all that. Now, to move the car, all right? To move the car, let's move this. Click on the car body, right? Click on the car body and let's choose motion path. Oh no, wait. Before that, let me copy paste my reference dulu. Alamak. Let me copy paste and create my mockup car first. Copy, paste as picture, and I want my car to finish here. All right. So, wait. Okay, there. So now, car body, we use motion path. All right. Now let me see, where's the invisible car? There it is. Let's move the body exactly to where I want it. All right, like that. Okay, for example, okay, there. And then I am going to make the tires pula. Tires, add animation. Jangan lupa to add animation, because your tire already has a spin. So now you want to add a motion path. Jangan replace, because if you just go straight to motion path and you create motion path, your tires will stop spinning because you are replacing your spin with a motion path. So add animation. So I'm going to add a line, right? So now line is I'm going to pull this tire so that it finishes exactly where I want it. All right. So it should be with previous, which is with the car body, right? Back tire juga, same thing. Add animation, line, and let's pull the tire, all right, to the back part, okay? And make sure it's exactly the same as my mock-up, like that. Also, with previous, which is together with the front tire and the car body, all right? So, let's see what happens, okay? Click once. Alamak, remove the mock-up car dulu. Sorry, terlupa. All right, now let's see. First click is because the tire starts spinning, but the tire is spinning outside, tak nampak. So the next click, Proton X50. The next click, Intelligence That Amazes. The next click, Paragraph Fly In. Next click, logo comes out. And now all three things are going to come in the picture at the same time. There you go. All right, got it? So that's basically just bit by bit, and you start to understand the logics, the steps that are required and things like that. It's actually very logical. Yeah. Now, if you think that is crazy, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, I'm going to show you a sample of a slide. Let me find one sample that I can show you that you go, what the, okay? Is that manual? Exercise, okay. Look at this, I'm going to show you what I call a parallax effect, okay? Now, I'm going to show you a parallax effect. Need more practice, definitely need more practice. You most likely you will not get it the first time around, okay? So what I've done here, a parallax effect is where my subject, which is the Ferrari here, is not going to move, In fact, I have three clouds here. One cloud, the big cloud, and the small cloud. Three clouds. I've got one truck, I've got an Audi, and I've got the road punya railing, divider there. Okay? But now, when I open my animation pane, okay, you will see all these clouds and all these cars yang dekat luar ni, will, from outside of the slide, they will go across and go outside of the slide on the left. They can travel everywhere. And it will repeat after previous and all that. But see the effect that I'm able to achieve. You see, the car doesn't move. My Ferrari doesn't move. But you see the trucks and the Audi, everything is moving. Even the clouds are moving at different speeds. Setengah tu 10 saat, setengah tu 15 saat, setengah tu 25 saat. So it gives you the illusion of layers. Yeah. And even the cars, the truck and the Audi is moving at separate speeds. Setengah tu duration 10 seconds, setengah tu duration 8 seconds. So they're all moving at different speeds. But it gives you an idea. It looks as though my Ferrari is moving. But in fact, it's the whole environment that is moving. Yeah. So if you think PowerPoint is, so limited and dry, this is the degree of the kind of animations that you're able to do just by using the existing functions alone, right? So now we realize how much we're underutilizing this really, really powerful program that we have in our computer. Okay, so yep, that's a sneak preview of what you can potentially do in the future. All right. Okay, great. Um, cool. All right, now let's go to a few case studies that I want to share with you. Okay. Now the first case, I want you to watch this, yeah, because this was done by my one of my actual works for UOB, right? Where they wanted to introduce a new product called UOB Bismart and all that, and because it was COVID, it came out at the point of COVID, so their salespeople couldn't go out and present to potential customers and things like that. So they needed to do it online, and they wanted their presentation to be a bit more cantik lah, So these were the slides they gave me, right? And if you look at the slides here, the one that they did, right? I have to give them A for effort lah, not so much for the design, but for the effort. Because if you look at the slides, if you were to send it out as a reading document, people will not understand because just one slide ada movement control order, one slide social distancing punya picture, so you might not get it. So it's supposed to be accompanied by a presenter, yeah. Okay, so now what I did was I changed the entire design, yeah, to make it look more presentable, more of their corporate colors and things like that. So a basic cleanup lah. But what I also did, yeah, on top of it was I actually recorded this entire thing, yeah. I actually recorded and timed the movement of the slides and all that, put a music behind it, and turn it into a video that can play on its own, So let me just let you see this. And the moment up till now, yeah, because you've learned all the techniques that I've shared up till now, you will see how I did them. Yeah, because there's quite a number of animations, there's animated GIFs and things like that being used. So slowly but surely, you're starting to get the concept of how I'm doing stuff. So let me play this and just watch it for the next 4 minutes, for example. Okay, why cannot open? Oh no. Okay, wait. Let me open it for you here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to play this mana. UOB. Oh, it's not here. Okay, let me go to here and let me see if I can play it here, okay? Hang on. Why also cannot open? Okay. Let me see, desktop. Fast trading, so let's open another one where okay, now I can play. All right, let's watch this. Boy. Here's fintech tadi. No. Where did the file go to? Hang on. Ni yang buat I menyampah ni. Oh no. Give me 1 minute. Just continue with your car while I search for the right material, okay? Hang on, ya. No, not this one. It's the last training that I did. Thank you very much. Ah, Ruby. Yes. Okay, let's look at this. So this was the actual PowerPoint. If you see the PowerPoint here, okay. So if I play it, you're gonna watch this video for a while. Yeah. So that's basically, an idea of how you can actually record everything, to what do you call that? Make sure it will play on its own and things like that. Is quite a cool feature, right? So now let me go back to here, yeah, where we were just now, okay, and I want to share with you a few more case studies, right? So, okay, now coming back to this one, this is a sample where it's not about presentation. It's got nothing to do with a presentation, but in fact, this is me using PowerPoint as a design tool, right? So, Eco World International, the property developer, they're developing the Bukit Bintang City Centre, which is on top of the current Pudu jail, right? So you all know it's going to be quite haunted, lah. Okay. Yes, you can. The moment you save it as a video and all that, or as a PowerPoint show, yeah, PPSX, they can actually watch it from their mobile as well. If they have Microsoft Office installed in their mobile phones, can. If not, you can just save it as a video and they can watch videos via their mobile. Okay. Now, anyway, coming back to this. So EcoWorld was one of my advertising clients. So they came to me and they said, Joe, can you come up with a mock-up or a design concept for a billboard? The billboard is to promote this office building that you see here, this tall building. Is going to be called the Stride. Yeah. So they wanted me to come up with a billboard concept, right? And typical, these are the things that they wanted me to highlight, right? Okay, we need to create one single visual for our office building, the Stride. The visual must show that it's part of the bigger mother brand, which is BBCC. Must say it's not too far from the airport. I don't know why they say this, because it's quite far from the airport, yeah, Kinta. But again, maybe other countries, the business district is even further. But anyway, it's near 10 train and transit stations across KL. Must also say it's only 15-minute walk to, your lot 10s and all the shopping area. Must also say there are 5 highway networks around the property. Banyaknya nak cakap inside a billboard. as if people are going to drive on the highway, see this ad with so much text, gonna park at the side of the road and baca everything, right? But again, that's why they asked me for help, right? They say, can you come up? How do you simplify this? So I sat back, thought about the idea a bit. It took a few hours to think about it, and this is what I came up with. Yeah, because they wanted to highlight BBCC kan. So I recreated the entire BBCC punya logo, and using all the elements, all the letters and all that for the airport, for the city centre, for the highway, for the train station and things like that. And the diorang punya property is smack in the middle. Okay. Now, this mock-up that you see here was done completely using PowerPoint. Okay. No Photoshops, no Illustrator. The whole mock-up was done using PowerPoint. And when I shared it to them, they didn't believe that I did it out of PowerPoint. So they asked, how did I do it? Right? Just out of curiosity, they want tanya, macam mana you buat? So I showed them this slide, yeah, where this was I actually made them individually, okay? So, and they still didn't believe it. So now I'm going to show you to make you believe it, okay? Let me open it. Where's my slide today? Okay. Now this was a slide, right? So if I was to highlight the amount of layers that I have to put in, okay, tuan-tuan dan perempuan, tengok tu. Look at that. That's the amount of things that I put in individually. Every single car, every single plane, every single building that you see here was plucked out of Google, arranged nicely, and to make up what we have as the final product, which is the design, right? So it's memang a lot, yeah, because every single item, like KLCC building satu, KL Tower satu, I arranged it and angled it and twisted it so that it goes into the circle and things like that. So everything was painstakingly done, right? But I just want to show you that, it can be done. Yeah, don't blame the software, we blame ourselves. Okay. Berapa lama, to be honest, how long did it take for me to do this? The longer part took for the concept, for me to think about the idea. But the moment I have the idea, then the application is easy. Okay. Yes, obsession level. But anyway, now, if you think that's crazy, I want to share with you another story, another case study. Oh, how I crop the circle. For your information, those asking, how did I do a C, right? I didn't crop it. How do you think I did the C? It's this. I just click once and there you go. And I managed to do a C. It's just a white box. All right? Yeah. The moment you put a box on top, it becomes a C lah. It no longer becomes a circle. The B is basically, the B is basically another rectangle behind it. Just arrange it nicely on top of the circle and it becomes a B. So, yes, it's just very, very funny. Come to think of it, right? But it's all about logic. Yeah, the moment kita nak buat, memang boleh buat, kena fikir je sikit. Alright? Now, if you think that's crazy, I'm going to show you another sample which is even crazier. Now, this was when I was working with Malaysia Healthcare Travel Council, MHTC, right? So, I want to tell you guys that in September 2019, I got a call from Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, MOTEC, our Tourism Malaysia lah, where they said, they are going to have a big pavilion, Malaysia punya pavilion, at the World Travel Market, WTM London. So WTM London is one of the most prestigious, one of the biggest tourism fairs in the world. Yeah, normally it's just two, WTM London dengan ITB in Berlin. Yeah, so they said, okay, we're giving you guys we're giving MHTC 10 feet by 35 feet, right, to have your own booth to promote medical tourism. So I was like, okay lah, set, right? But then I looked at the timing. They told me in mid-September. If you look at the event, it's 4 to 6 November. So I only had a month and a half. And if you are familiar working with government agencies or government entities, kan, the moment you have to spend this much, you have to do sebut harga, you have to send out for pitch, you have to get all the vendors to come in and pitch their ni, and then you have to set up a steering committee to review all the submissions, to appoint the winner, and then get your lawyers to get the contract done and everything, and then baru boleh start work. And the moment all that is done, it's time to go for the event already. Tak sempat, right? So luckily, Tourism Malaysia said, look, we already have our fabricators that are based in London that's going to do all the structure and all that. So you just give your floor plan to them lah, and they will design. Okay, they will structure it. Okay, so I thought, okay, good, job done. So what I did was I gave them my floor plan. You know, there are 4 areas and things like that. These are the structures that I want, blah blah. So I know most of you know that you can do this out of PowerPoint, right? Just overhead punya shot, you know, just drawing. Yeah, it's just rectangles and things like that. So after I sent this to them, within 24 hours, the London guys, they emailed me back, said, Joe, we need a 3D angle of your floor plan, complete with the design, you know, the look and feel of how the structures look like and things like that. What do you want to hang overhead, you know, because it's got a very high ceiling, you can hang stuff on top. So I was like, oh, crap. Okay, so I need to design that. And to hire a designer or somebody who knows AutoCAD and all that to design floor plan designs, it's still money. It's still a whole new working paper, processes, blah, blah, blah. Don't have time, so I decided, now, what if I'm able to create a 3D angle, a 3D drawing of my floor plan using PowerPoint, right? Some of you may think impossible, but let me show you. This entire design that you see on screen was done completely out of PowerPoint. Again, as I said, I use only PowerPoint and I use Google to search for daun-daun lah, kursi lah, meja lah. But the entire structure and everything was done out of PowerPoint. And if you're wondering, how did I do it out of PowerPoint? Okay, let me show you how I did one structure. Because you guys did this morning. It's just this, creating a rectangle, yeah, with no outline. Maybe I put the color as white sikit, okay? And then I'm going to create another rectangle and make it slimmer, okay? And color the gelap sikit, all right, like that. And then I'm going to create another rectangle dekat atas, slim sikit, maybe about this much, okay? And color terang, gelap, all right. Now what I did was, what we did this morning, go to shape effects, go to 3D rotation, and put in parallel punya angles. So what I did here, shape effects, 3D rotation, angle this way. This one pula, shape effect, 3D rotation, baringkan. So the moment I put them together, I'm starting to create my structures, right? The moment I correct it semua, dia akan nampak perfect, right? In terms of the sizing and all that. So I can cut this and paste it as a picture, and now I have my first panel, right? And slowly but surely, I'm able to create this whole thing, yeah, just by playing around with the angles and things like that, yeah. So that's one, right? And on top of that, how did I create specific to measurement? Because kadang-kadang ni kita buat mock-up ni, we don't even know whether there's enough walking room between the panels and all that. So what I did was this. Before I even started designing, the first thing that I did was something that we all did this morning as well. I went to design. I went to slide size. Okay. I pergi ke slide size ni. I had to customize my slide size where the width of my slide is in relation to the floor plan, which is 35 feet. Okay. And then I punya height, the height of my slide is 10 cm. So 35 cm, 10 cm is equivalent of 35 feet to 10 feet lah. So when I put that as like this, ensure fit, now the entire slide size is now the given floor size that was given to me by Tourism Malaysia. It's exactly 10 by 35. Only then I will start inserting, inserting all these shapes, and even all these shapes when I wanted to create the panels. I can actually format them and go to the sizing so that I can create 4 feet ke, 5 feet ke, so that I make sure that there's enough room for people to walk and things like that. Yeah. So everything is immaculately measured. Yeah. Not main agak-agak. So that's how detailed we can be. Yeah. If we want to be lah. Right. So basically, I design section by section, section 1, section 2, and then using the bring to front, send to back, bring to front, send to back, letak sekali. So it became a full floor plan, right? Even the design of the panels, the furnishing, semua, all this was done between combining Google and PowerPoint. That's all, so that they get the idea. And tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, I arrived in London 4 days before the event just to see the final part of the setup. Tergamam jugalah, to see that there's an actual structure coming out according to my specs with the hanging leaves and all that, and it became a full-fledged, booth. So out of the 650 plus, yes, the whole floor plan was parallel as well, Nadia. So, out of the 650 plus booths in World Travel Market that year, one was designed out of PowerPoint, believe it or not, and you know who did it. So, hashtag achievement unlocked for even someone like me. Okay. Yeah. So that's me basically sharing a few more ideas that I hope can inspire you and just let you know indefinitely that it's got nothing to do with PowerPoint punya limitations. It's only limited to our own, willingness to try and break the system. All right. Okay. Now moving next. Okay. Before that, because it's going to be a bit of a subject, so spend 5 minutes to take a break. Yeah. Now it's 3:27. Let's take 5 minutes or 3:35 lah. 3:35 to be exact, so that we can continue. I'm sure you want to take a break and reheat your coffee, attend to your kid. So look at the clock, at the time, exactly 3:35, we will start with infographics. If you have any questions in between, just drop them in the message and I will try to answer them, okay? All right. Tak habis-habis lagi dengan the X50. Aduh, kamu ni. Alright. Can.